Picture this. It's the height of the Cold War. Tensions are sky-high between the United States and the Soviet Union. Spying is a deadly game of cat and mouse, and whoever has the best eyes in the sky holds a massive advantage. The U.S. had the U-2 spy plane, but in 1960, one was shot down over Soviet territory, creating an international incident and proving that flying high wasn't enough. The U.S. needed something more, something untouchable, something that seemed to defy the very laws of physics. Enter the legendary Skunk Works, Lockheed's top-secret advanced development division, led by the brilliant and visionary aircraft designer, Kelly Johnson. Their mission, should they choose to accept it, was to build a plane that could fly faster and higher than any missile that could ever hope to catch it. A ghost in the sky. The result was a project codenamed Archangel, which would eventually evolve into the aircraft we know as the SR-71 Blackbird. The challenges they faced were monumental. At the speeds they were aiming for over Mach 3, or 3 times the speed of sound, the friction with the air would heat the aircraft as skin to temperatures that could melt conventional aluminum. So they needed a new material. The answer was titanium. But there was a problem. The vast majority of the world's titanium was controlled by the main adversary, the Soviet Union. In one of the greatest ironies of the Cold War, the CIA set up a network of front companies and third-party agents to secretly purchase the very metal they needed to build a plane to spy on the Soviets. They literally bought the materials from their enemy to spy on them. Building the Blackbird was like assembling a puzzle from the future. The titanium was incredibly difficult to work with. It was brittle, and normal tools would shatter. They had to invent entirely new fabrication techniques and tools just to handle it. And because the plane heated up so much in flight, it had to be built with expansion joints. On the ground, the SR-71 was a leaky, dripping machine. Its massive fuel tanks would literally leak jet fuel all over the tarmac. It wasn't until the plane reached its operational speed and temperature that the metal panels would expand and seal themselves shut. It had to be leaky to be perfect. And let's talk about that fuel. It wasn't your standard jet fuel. They needed something that wouldn't ignite at extreme temperatures. So a special concoction called JP7 was created. This fuel had such a high flash point that you could drop a lit match into a bucket of it and the match would just go out. To ignite it in the engines, they had to use a chemical called trithylbarane, which explodes on contact with air. So, every time the SR-71's engine started, there was a flash of green fire, a signature calling card of the Blackbird. The pilots who flew this beast were a different breed. They wore what were essentially spacesuits, fully pressurized and connected to a complex life support system. The cockpit was their own personal bubble, protecting them from the hostile environment just inches away, where the outside pressure was near zero and temperatures could swing by hundreds of degrees. Flying the SR-71 was physically and mentally demanding, requiring absolute precision. On March 6, 1990, the SR-71 made its final official flight, setting 4 new speed records on its way to retirement at a museum. It flew from Los Angeles to Washington, D.C. in just 64 minutes. To put that in perspective, a commercial airliner takes about 5 hours. Imagine crossing the entire United States in just over an hour. That was the reality for the Blackbird. So, what was the Blackbird's real impact? For over 25 years, it was the ultimate intelligence gathering tool. It flew with impunity over some of the most heavily defended areas on the planet, including North Vietnam, the Middle East, and the edges of the Soviet Union. Over its entire service life, more than 4,000 missiles were fired at SR-71s. The number shot down? 0. Not a single one was ever lost to enemy fire. The standard procedure for a pilot who detected a missile launch was simple. They just pushed the throttle forward and accelerated. They outran every threat. The information and imagery the Blackbird collected were invaluable to U.S. presidents and military leaders. providing critical insights that helped navigate the treacherous waters of the Cold War and prevent conflicts from escalating. It kept the peace by revealing the truth. There's a famous story that perfectly captures the Blackbird's mystique. An SR-71 pilot was flying over the western United States, listening to air traffic control chatter. A Cessna pilot came on the radio to ask for a ground speed check. 90 knots, the controller replied. A moment later, a Twin Beach asked for the same, 120 knots. Then, a Navy F-18 pilot chimed in with a bit of swagger. Dusty 52, speed check. The controller responded, 525 knots on the ground. Then, the SR-71 pilot, flying at over 80,000 feet, keyed his mic. Aspen 20, I need a ground speed check. After a long pause, the controller's voice came back, a little shaky. Aspen 20, I show you at 1,942 knots. The SR-71 pilot simply replied, we show a little faster than that. For a few moments, the radio was completely silent. The king had spoken. The SR-71 Blackbird wasn't just an airplane. It was a symbol of human ingenuity pushed to its absolute limits. It was a statement, a masterpiece of engineering born from a time of intense global rivalry. It was designed in an era of slide rules and drafting tables, yet it flew faster and higher than almost anything conceived since. It looked like it was from the future, and even today, decades after its retirement, it still does. The legacy of the Blackbird isn't just in the records it set or the missions it flew. It's in the inspiration it provides. It shows us what is possible when we dare to dream big and push beyond the boundaries of what we think we know. It's a testament to the idea that with enough courage, creativity, and a little bit of skunkworks magic, we can truly touch the sky. The SR-71 now rests in museums, a silent titan of a bygone era. But its story continues to captivate and inspire anyone who looks up and wonders what it would be like to fly on the edge of space, faster than a speeding bullet, in the most incredible aircraft ever built. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into aviation history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. See you next time